Hi everybody, I hope that you're well. Today I feel inspired to talk about the feeling of being untethered and a sort of lack of stability or security, which part of our humanness we need. This is one of our needs, to be certain. We need security to help us feel safe, believe it or not. So it's one of our ego's needs. And I've had a couple of conversations this week about feeling untethered and not feeling safe, or not even that I don't, not feeling safe, but not just feeling untethered, because I'm about to go on this adventure, which I have never been so free to go and do this before. And I am up and leaving London. I will have no fixed abode. I'm sort of going to live the nomad life. The purpose behind it is so that I can go so that I can experience a bit of what the UK or the world has to offer, and that I have never experienced before, and maybe find somewhere to settle, give it 6 months and see what happens. And so I'm packing up my beautiful flat here in London and trying to figure out business and what's like the practicalities, change of address. I still have stuff ongoing with the hospital, so tying up loose ends there. So then there's this feeling in me, it's like this energy that something huge is about to change, something huge is about to shift, and that in the body that can feel like anxiety, but it can also feel like excitement if you channel that mindset through. So that's sometimes at the minute it's anxiety and sometimes it's excitement. And I mentioned in last week's episode, my cat's picking up on my energy. So when I now recognize when I am feeling the anxious, my cat feels it too. So if I'm feeling untethered, then so is he. And I had a really interesting conversation last night that, it helped me realize that it's my inner child that is feeling untethered, because she has felt like she's had to keep me safe and strong for so long. And not just me, but everyone around me. Rosanna has to be the strong woman that holds everybody together. Even when I had cancer, I had to be the strong, brave woman that held it all together. And no, I'm fine, positive mindset, which I did have, and that is me. That is who I am. But it's the little girl inside me that feels that she has had to be this way. I guess in order to survive. I mean, me and this little girl have been on some wild rides, some scary shit, and that is, she's felt that she has to protect me. So now we're about to go on this mad thing, like driving around the UK, Europe, who knows where I'm going to end up. I'm sort of thinking of flying over to America in the new year. Not driving to America, because that wouldn't work. But, just go and see a bit of the world. And I've been reflecting on why. And I've realized that, I'm going through a massive spiritual awakening. And I've been learning about spiritual and personal development for years. And here I am. Last year, I was given a fucking catalyst to catapult me forward into this spiritual awakening, because to wake up to a new way of living and what is actually happening in the world, because I was so bogged down in the stress of trying to be successful and trying to be this incredible jewelry designer and all of this stuff. I was I was stressed, I was anxious, I was having panic attacks, I was going through, putting myself through the absolute ringer, working 10 hours a day, just trying, yeah, I hit some financial targets, but if you ask me if the anxiety attacks were worth it, my answer is no. I'd rather feel happy, fulfilled and safe with no money in the bank than working myself like I was to be absolutely minted. So I was given this catalyst, this fucking Rosanna, wake up. What do we have to do to wake you up? So I was given cancer, and I've realized that going through this, I healed cancer in a miraculous way, and I'm so proud of myself and so thrilled that I'm really, really grateful for the experience. I'm grateful for everything that's happened to me in my whole entire life, but especially in the last 12 months. I'm actually just about to head off to a wedding, and this time a year ago, my cousin's wedding, and this time a year ago, I was walking up a hill with him that I didn't think I would be able to do. So that's really special, you kind of reflect. And so what I've realized is that I can't go back to living how I was before. I already knew that. But there's part of me that can't go back to living in how society tells us we're supposed to live. You're supposed to live in a house. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have children. You're supposed to work for your pension. You're supposed to take your pension, maybe go on a cruise. And I've realized that I can't do that. Right now, at this very point in time, there is so much more available to me. And that's really empowering if you can stand in that and believe that and feel that for yourself. I feel like we're being programmed to just live a mediocre life. And, you get your holidays. And if that works for you, that's amazing. And I'm so happy for you. But I was talking to another lady this morning who had cancer at the same time as I did. And I was very blessed how I've been brought how I've kind of made connections through this as well. And she was saying that she leaves her job in December because she just can't do it anymore. She's decided that she has to go and follow her passions. And this is exactly where I am. And I feel like everybody in life is given an opportunity to wake up to what's actually possible. Everybody in life is given an opportunity to live for themselves rather than live for society. And you're given this opportunity, and not everybody takes it. And sometimes that comes in the form of cancer. Sometimes it comes in the form of a death in the family. Sometimes it comes in the form of an accident, or I know people suffering with anxiety and depression, and for me that is a wake-up call in itself. Like, do you really want to be fucking miserable forever? You don't have to be. You can have whatever ever you want, but you have to be brave enough to go out and get it for yourself. You have to be brave enough to do the things, to sit in meditation and contemplation. You have to be brave enough to sit and say, this is what I want, to write stuff down, to go out and do stuff. It's like, if you want a new job, you have to be brave enough to go to the interview. You have to be brave enough to look, but you have to be brave enough to know what it is you want. Society is quite happy to tell you what, because society has been built based on past experiences. And I know that where we're going, the past is not going to help us. We need to create a new future, and that future needs to be based on what our soul needs, not what our ego needs. Yes, love and respect your ego because it has kept you safe. Love and respect your little child inside of you because they have kept you safe for so long. But we have to be brave, and we have to take steps forward into a new future, into a new world, and see where it takes you. Because I promise you that if you follow your heart, you're safe. And your heart is never going to lead you towards danger. Yes, there will be lessons along the way, At no point throughout my cancer journey did I feel unsafe. Yes, I was fed up and I didn't really enjoy it. But At no point did I feel like I was going to die. I felt like I was going to die more looking at my bank account than I have looking at and the thought of pensions and mortgages than I have going through chemotherapy. And like, there's something wrong with that, you know, actual risk of physically dying or looking at a bank account and feeling like you might die. Like, there's something wrong there. And the world has programmed us to be successful by what is reflected in our bank account. And, you know, I'm not putting any judgment on anybody. You know, this is my experience, but I'm hoping that if I can bring my experience to you and you resonate in some way, then we can help club together and we can change the world just by changing ourselves. We don't have to think about changing the world. That is a huge thing, but just by changing ourselves and looking after ourselves, we can have a radical effect on the consciousness around us, on the people around us. Like, we won't even know how we're affecting and how we're helping other people just by sitting and working on ourselves. And so here I am, having a week of having felt untethered. I've sent voice notes to my friends saying, I'm going to go and live in a camper van for 3 months, and I might do. You watch this space, because I'm so nearly ready to click the link on that. And anybody who's known me for an amount of time will think that is not Rosanna. But that is what I feel so called to do. I feel like I'm leaning into feeling untethered. I'm leaning into this feeling of looseness and freedom and flow that I've never felt before, because I've been so restricted by what I thought I had to be, by what I thought I had to do. And it's not society's fault. Nobody's sat there saying, oh, we have to make people do this. But it is, it's just because this is the past. This is what our future is built on the past, unless we consciously change that. And so this is what I'm doing. This is what I am leaning into. Is I am leaning into living a life by listening to my heart and my intuition, and following my heart and my intuition, and just seeing where it takes me. Because, you know, I know that there are scarier things out there than maybe not knowing where I'm going to be sleeping in November. I have booked a 4-week stay in a town in the UK, and I don't know if for October, and I don't know where I'm going to be after that. Now, there's something that's terrifying to the ego in that, but to my soul, it feels so free and exciting. So maybe let's reframe Untethered. In fact, I quite like the world. It reminds me of wild ponies running free and like fairy energy, and just it reminds me of the feminine. And I don't really know much about the kind of feminine, masculine archetypes, but I feel like I'm supposed to be untethered for a little while, and it feels so freeing, and I'm so excited. And I've just had this calling to sit and kind of have this little rant and bring it to you, because if you in some way can and resonate and feel a similar way, then, you know, let's connect, let's chat on Instagram, let's go, let's show the world that we don't have to be stuck in the 9 to 5. You don't have to be stuck. You know, the world is literally, if that's not what calls to you, then you can change it. There is so much available to you. I promise there is, like, and we don't even know. We can't even comprehend it, because we've never been there, because our future is so almost planned by our past. We don't know, we can't comprehend it yet. We don't know what's available to us, and that's so exciting. And Joe Dispenza talks about when change happens, when we're trying to bring something into our life and change happens, we got no idea. We can't plan how it's coming in. It will come in the most unexpected way, because the unexpected way cannot be perceived by the mind, because it's by the intellectual mind, because if it could, then it would be the past. And when you want to bring something new in, that's a new future, and that's change, and that cannot be a reflection of your past. So when you do want to bring something new, and you have to expect the unexpected, and I believe that in order to expect the unexpected, you have to listen to your heart, and maybe you have to be a bit untethered. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, short and sweet for you today. If you do want to connect with me and follow my wild untethered journey, then please connect with me on Instagram. The links are below. And I look forward to seeing you on this journey. And if I can help you in any way, please reach out. Sending you lots of love on this sunny Sunday.